So as you know, as that's the reason you're probably here, controller and camera settings are seriously important, not just in FC25, but in basically any game possible. So I'm here today to try and give you the best settings, the ones I have been using. As you can see, I'm currently 27 and 4 in the draft, so not the best, but definitely not the worst. You know, we're getting some results. So hopefully this helps you out. I'd appreciate a like on the video if it did. Subscribe. I'm going to be uploading tons of videos that are going to be helping you improve at all aspects of this game. So subscribe. If you have any questions about any of these settings, you can comment them down below. Enjoy the video. Let's get into it. If you need the cheapest FC25 coins to build your super team, then check out MMOEXP by clicking the link down below and use code JambooUK for 5% off. Okay, so starting off with the gameplay settings before we get into the camera, you're going to want to have just the competitive preset anyway. It gets rid of a lot of the stuff that isn't going to matter because it's, you know, going to be locked into whatever it is by default. We'll go down to the shot assistance, and it's a shame, but we always say, you know, in any FIFA or FC title, if you don't have the most assistance possible in these settings, you know, as rare as it might be to have assisted everything, and as much as we want the game to be more manual and us, you know, doing the input, you need the assistance, because otherwise you're just going to lose to someone that's got the assistance. So shooting, shot assistance, we want that on assisted. Timed finishing, you want this on, even if you're not using it comfortably, just as a force of habit and to try and go and learn this. I think it's very important for it to be on, because going forward, you know, if you want to really improve, you know, if you're serious about getting better at this game, having the timed finishing on is very, very important. You're going to be able to score chances that you normally wouldn't be able to score, you know, from certain angles. Maybe you need a bit more power on the shot, and that is going to be something that you need to look to implement into your game, you know, if you want to hit those high ranks on champs. We have the through pass assistance on semi, and just for the record, this is subject to change. Obviously the game has been out like a day. I'm going a lot of, you know, what I've used in the past, and there is some new settings that I've sort of, you know, tinkered with a little bit, which we'll explain, but subject to change, of course. You know, something could happen, some sort of meta, you never know, where there's a setting you just have to use. You know, we don't know yet, but I thought I would hook you guys up with what I'm currently using. Through pass assistance on semi, we have the lobbed through pass on semi, ground pass assisted, cross assisted, lob assisted, a lot of assisted and semi there. We have late on the pass receiver lock. Precision pass sensitivity. I never really used the precision pass. You'll have to let me know whether you use it often. I feel like it was a bit of a gimmick feature. You know, at least at casual level play. So let me know your thoughts. Clearance, I have it on classic. I'm very much stuck in my ways and old school, and you know, with the tactical defending, the clearance, you know, maybe it's something that I'll have to adapt down the line. But for me, I'm an old school, you know, FIFA player. I've been around a long time. The advanced defending just doesn't really interest me. I want to defend how I always have. We were still hitting the top ranks last year on FC24 with the tactical defending. So that is what we're going to run with again. If you are struggling with your defending, you know, you may find that advanced is on and maybe it's just not for you. So tactical defending, it's just going to keep things a little bit more simple in my opinion. And it's definitely worth, you know, having a go. If it's put you on advanced by default, you may be struggling with that. Pass block assistance, of course, you want this on. You need your AI, your EA AI, I nearly said. Where possible, they need to be stepping in and doing things for you. That's just how it is. That's just FC. Auto switching, always been the same for me. I want air balls and loose balls, and then no other time. It does auto switch, you know, it has a mind of its own at times, but there's nothing you can do about that. Auto switching move assistance low. You can try it on high if you're struggling. I feel like if you're a bit of a higher level defender, you can have it on low, because the last thing I want personally when defending is my players just running off in certain directions. Having it on low just restricts it a little bit whilst keeping it fluid. I find that if I have it on none, it just gets a little bit static in the defense. So Low is the perfect balance. I have classic right stick switching, player relative. I have 4 on the sensitivity, the same as last year. The next player switching classic. Like I say, for me, I'm stuck in my ways. You know, maybe it's a me issue, whatever. I don't want all these new settings, EA. I've been defending the same way for over 15 years, basically. I do not want any of these new settings that are apparently going to help me. Like this, for example. This reaction time modifier. I mean, I had it on for a game, and maybe it was just because I was new onto the game. It just it was either awful or I was awful at it, and whichever way it was, I would rather just have it off, at least for now. So I'm turning that off so I can defend the way I always have in the past. Player lock, you want that on. Very similar to the timed finishing, in the sense that even if it's just by habit, you want this on because to progress as a player, you know, you need to be using the player lock. There is actually a little bit of a bug with the player lock at the time of recording this, on basically day of release. It's sometimes when you player lock at the moment, it just completely bugs out. Like your player will just lose control of the ball and it doesn't work properly, but that will surely be fixed. So player lock is something you're going to want on. Assistance on the save, it's completely irrelevant. Analog sprint, sort of personal preference, to be honest. You know, it's not, you can have it on, you can have it off, just depends whether you're actually going to use it. Trigger effect, we have that off. These are important ones in my opinion. This trigger effect and the vibration feedback, just get it both off, man. The last thing you want is literally being like through on goal and your controller is having a meltdown in your hands. Your hands are going numb because the controller is vibrating that much. You do not want it. You just don't. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to add the feature whenever it was. So for the camera settings, you know, a lot of people use telly broadcast. I like to go with what I went with last year, and that is going to be the co-op camera angle. So what this allows is it's allowing you to see a lot of the pitch, especially with what we pair it up with, you know, on the height and zoom. I have 20 height and 0 zoom, so it's basically the furthest out, and you're going to be able to see just a lot of the pitch. And from what I'm noticing so far, you know, a lot of people are trying to play these through balls in behind, and you know, you need to see the whole picture. I never used to be like this back in the day, before all these crazy through balls and things like that became a thing. But ever since they have, I feel like you just need to see the full picture. You need to know what's going on, you know, whether one of your defenders is wandering off, playing everyone on side. Whatever it is, the more you can see, the better, in my opinion. So we run co-op, 20 height, 0 zoom. For these ones, this one's pretty irrelevant. Rush has its own camera. So, you know, we're going to use that on the broadcast one. Just seems to make the most sense. But in general, that is what we go with. There is a couple of new stats, which I have straight away got off. You've got this penalty area zoom, which I understand the concept. You know, you're in the penalty area, maybe you need to dribble a little bit tighter or acutely or whatever it may be. I do not want it. I don't want my camera changing position based where I am on the pitch, especially in the box. It's just going to put me off, if anything. So for these settings here, I've just essentially disabled them. And the power shot zoom, I absolutely hate that as well. You'll have to let me know, maybe you disagree, but I have that off. But these are my settings. I really hope that they can help you guys out. I'd appreciate a like on the video. Like I say, subscribe and you will get better at the game for free on this channel. It's just the way it is. I appreciate you guys. Looking forward to a good year, and peace.